Welcome back to another episode of Anatomy of a Rumor, a podcast about B2B marketing and demand generation. This podcast is meant to help young marketers and even seasoned veterans in the field of marketing working inside B2B SaaS space to further sharpen their skills and gain the knowledge and insights from industry experts on how to adapt to the ever-changing field of demand gen and marketing. Enjoy this episode. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Anatomy of a Rumor. We're on to episode 4, and we've got, by popular demand, our favorite author, Rahul Bakaya, back with us in the show. Hey, Rahul.
Hey Shabab, what's up?
Yeah, not much, man. How are you?
I'm good. How the rumors going?
Yeah, man. Rumors pumping it. I mean, you're back by popular demand. We uploaded the video so far. Out of the 3, you've been the most popular one. So, so I thought maybe the audience wants you back, right? So today we're actually going to be doing a very interesting exercise with Rahul. Since you all know Rahul works for a B2B tech company as well, and we are focused on B2B tech companies as well. So that's what our area of expertise is. And what we've noticed in some of the smaller companies, the new marketing hires tend to get overwhelmed with their marketing strategy on how to go about a marketing strategy. So today what we're going to do is basically we're going to create a scenario for you, and we're going to discuss on how to going about building a marketing engine or marketing function from the ground up in a small company where you're starting. So how about that, Rahul? Sounds good?
Sounds amazing.
All right, man. All right. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first and foremost, first, let me give you the scenario, what the scenario is, right? So the company in reference here would be a B2B SaaS companies, as a Series A company doing approximately 1.5 million ARR, right? We have not had a marketing function in hire. All the selling has been done outbound or whatever through the founders. You're the first marketing hire, right? Yeah, so it's purely up to you to build a marketing strategy and a marketing team from the ground up. How would you start in your role? Where would you start and how?
Yeah, look, that's an interesting question. But a question which will have answers in different verses, right? So we have to peel the layer of onion as we go through it. So I think it's going to be a really long task. But I hope to our audience and the new generation of marketers who are getting into the senior position of managers, where they're given a position where they have to design a marketing strategy for the financial year, quarter on quarter, or sometimes H1 or H2 as they call it in B2B tech space. Chances are, if you are new in your role, you got that role through your competency, or you got that promotion from a marketing coordinator. So you got to understand first where you were a couple of months ago and where you are now. Marketing coordinator or a specialist role, you were executing a lot. So you were answerable to the marketing manager, right? You didn't have any burden of revenue on you. Even if you did, you didn't have any visible burden of revenue on you. But now you are in a role where you will have a visible burden of revenue on yourself. You will have a revenue goal and you will have a business goal. Okay. So making sure you understand you are not in a marketing specialist role anymore is key. Step one, write it down. You left marketing specialist role in the past. So, and this has happened to me, Shavad, and I have made a mistake over here as well, right? So, back in the days, I loved SEO. I wrote a book on it. I loved it, right? I was like getting into Moz blogs and getting into Neil Patel, reading everything, what's out there, when is the Google algo coming in. The moment I got into marketing manager's role, my first marketing manager, uh, things changed. But I was looking at that role from a prism of a digital marketer only. So what happened is I couldn't foresee what that role was asking me to do. If you can't foresee what that role is asking you to do, you will fail early. You need to avoid that. Okay? Because you got around 3, 4, maybe 5 months to prove yourself that you have got a good grasp of marketing strategy. Right? That's how much it takes, right? After 6 months, your management would know that whether you're working or not. Because within 6 months, rumors will start. Oh, I heard about this company. Marketing is good. Oh, I see them on LinkedIn. I see their events. Oh, they did this, they did that. But they're not listening that, marketing is not working. So you need to come. So, sorry, I'm going to this, but this is a very important step. So
Yeah,
you
yeah, no,
understand
certainly.
where you were before and where you are now, right? What are your thoughts? Have you ever been in this, like, where you have come across with someone who was more of a specialist role and getting into uh, a manager's role, but always speaking like a specialist?
I see that all the time, and I think you couldn't be more right in this scenario. And what you're referring to is the problem that I've observed is that when that operator becomes a manager and they're still in the habit of reporting the metrics that are inside the ad platforms,
Yeah,
right? What was the CPM?
yeah,
What's the CPL? What's the CTR? But you got to understand that you're now in a position where you're reporting to the board and they don't care about what the CTR is or the CPM is. They care about the business goals. They care about the revenue goals. And now you're no longer a marketing manager, you're a business leader.
true, true.
And your reporting has got to adopt to that role exactly as you're saying.
Absolutely.
And that's actually more common than one would imagine. That's very common. Unless someone's a seasoned manager or a CMO, it's a different ball game,
Yeah,
right? Because they're used to being a strategic partner, and they're used to managing people and reporting to the board. But for someone who's just made the shift, it's a hard time understanding where you are and what your priorities should be. So I love how you've crystallized what your priorities should be, coming from a coordinator to a manager level role, or even if you're a first hire in a organization as a marketing manager, you're still a business leader.
yeah,
You're still leading that business.
yeah.
So
So
okay,
one
cool.
one thing this first step does is it will always do this to you. If you are fresher out of a specialist role in a manager role, and once you realize, oh my God, I'm not a specialist anymore, I'm a strategic manager, right? One thing it will always do to you is it will overwhelm you, right? It will. There's too much to grasp. You haven't done this before. And taking your example, if it's, say, for example, a Series A company with a revenue of $1 million ARR, stakes are high because that company wants to go from a mid-market level to an enterprise level. So they want to have more and more big names in their accounts. They want to have better customer retention. They want to have better customer review. They want their brand to be known, right? And we haven't dealt with that before, right? So things will overwhelm you. The- And here's a trick. Here's a trick that my mentor taught me. Right? First thing first, there's a little bit of advertisement I'm going to do, and don't kill me for that. If you ever go into an organization, as one of my mentors told me, if you ever go to an organization, read this book.
Oh, that's not your. Is that yours?
No, dude, no, no.
I thought you wrote the second book. I'm like, I haven't gone through the first one.
If this was mine, man, I'll be very famous. The first 90 days is it's about proven strategies for getting you up to speed faster and smarter. So this is written by the author Michael D. Watkins,
Okay.
so he's an author in Harvard Business Review. So basically, tells you as a strategic person, as a business leader, when you first go into a new organization, what do you need to do in your first 3 months? Okay.
Dude, I love how in sync you and I are, because that was exactly my next question. How to go about your first quarter? How to set, what should be the tactical steps? So break it down for us.
Yeah. So this is more on relationship building, but I'll tell you the tactic steps. The tactical steps I tell you, if my beautiful, wonderful, amazing marketing friends are listening to it and they are a little bit concerned or they're feeling overwhelmed. Oh my God, what do I need to do? I start my role tomorrow. Write this down. Write this down. Okay. Step number one, go to your sales leader. Go to your sales.
Mm,
If you're not
mm,
confident, you're feeling overwhelmed, go to your sales leader. Tell him, hey, if you are at a revenue of 1.1 mil ARR and you want to get maybe 50, 60% more next year, you want to get 50 more accounts next year, what
mhm.
do I need to do to help you to get that?
Love
Okay.
it.
Let me repeat that. Let me repeat that. It's very important. Ask your sales leader, director of sales, regional sales head, VP of sales. Ask that person, if you want to get 50 net new logos, what do I need to do from a marketing point to achieve that goal? Let's list them down. Okay?
Mm, mm.
The sales leader would love it. Okay? Would love it. And most and if the sales leader is not loving it, I need to tell you this. Probably maybe go and look for another job.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So when your VP of sales or your sales director listens to this, that person will probably give you a list. Hey, listen, what I need from your side is, look, I need a better product collateral. This is coming from my experience when I used to ask these questions.
Hmm.
Rahul, I need better marketing collateral. When I'm sending slides, when I'm sending presentations, when I'm sending product data sheets, they gotta be A class. They gotta be looking like it's coming from an A class SaaS. Right?
Mm,
If you can help me with that, that'll be awesome. Done.
mm,
Easy. Right?
mm,
Yes, I can do it. Work.
mhm,
If you have a team in US, work with them.
mm,
If you don't have a team in US, don't spend time because you're the only one in marketing. Don't spend time with graphic design if it's not your forte.
mm,
Outsource it to an agency
mm,
who have been doing it for 20, 30 years. Right? Give them, right? And then
mm,
maybe have some sort of, hey, listen, I need maybe 20 pieces of content, 30 pieces of content every month. Get a list from your sales person. What content do you need?
mm,
All right. Work with your product team. Work with your SMEs. Get that content written. Send it to graphic design team. Have that well-oiled machine running.
mm,
When your sales leader see that well-oiled machine running, he'll be very impressed. You know what he'll say?
mm,
I can see the difference. It wasn't here before. No,
mm.
that's the
Yeah.
first sign of difference. That's an early win straight away because
And
now,
I think you've accomplished two things in this one tactic here. So you've immediately created sales and marketing alignment, at least on a mindset level, on a
yeah,
subconscious level, right? Because you're friends now, because sales guy said, oh, hey, he's going to support me, right? And number two, you've now got the ideology in terms of revenue targets where the organization needs to head or wants to head.
yes,
And now it's up to you to decide whether that's realistic or not. I mean, given the resources, of course, but at least you have an idea where to work and how and what direction to go, right? So
yes,
love it how you've killed two birds from one stone there.
absolutely. Look, when you're in a Series A company, priority number one, if they haven't hired, Shabbat, this is important, right? If they haven't hired a marketer before,
Mhm.
99 out of 100 times their product collateral is not up to the mark,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
They are desperate to get
Mm,
that done first.
mm,
So, in your first 1 month or 2 months, fix up your product marketing.
mm,
It needs to be gold standard
mm,
because product marketing is a thing where you don't want to go back again and again and fix things.
mm,
Because
mm,
if you don't fix it at the very first stage, you will have issues. You have to go back. You won't be able to concentrate on demand. You won't be. So what happens is in marketing, what I've seen, people join the organization. The first thing they do is concentrate on demand.
mm,
You're not ready for demand gen if your product marketing is not set,
mm,
right? make your product marketing as a gold standard so that the sales team is proud to share. Sales team will do your marketing for you. Okay. That's point number one. Fix up your product marketing. The other thing your VP of sales may ask you is, look, thing is that because if you are the only marketing resource, 99 or 100 times, chances are your sales team will be lean as well,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
Now, what this poor guy, the VP of sales, is doing, he's achieving targets and he's also looking at building his team, his or her team. Agree? Right? Now, VP of sales needs to concentrate on building a strategic team, go-getters, hunters, at the same time needs to concentrate on target as well, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Person is busy, right?
Exactly.
The next thing that person will ask you is this, right? Can you help me with any platform where I can address customers or prospects at scale, right? At scale, because I can't do individual meetings at scale because I don't have a team. Understand his pain points. These are pain points. Understand VP of sales pain points. He, that person can't do meetings at scale. So you need to help create platforms where VP of sales can reach out to 100 prospects, 50 prospects, whatever. This is easy for you. If you have been a marketing coordinator,
I just want some clarification there. So when you say VP of sales needs to know about platforms where he can do basically sales at scales, what exactly does that mean? Are you talking about like communities where our ICPs are, like Facebook groups, or maybe an event that happening? Is that what you're saying, that we should be telling him where those opportunities are, where the ICP
yeah,
is?
most of the time VP of sales will tell you, I have seen competitors are here, I need to be there.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. I have seen that other event happening, we want to be there, we should be there. Just say, yeah, done. Okay. Okay. But we will get you there. We will get you there. Marketing will get you on those platforms. You and I, we need to create a plan for that. Now, when I say you and I need to create a plan for that, is the second part where you create sales and alignment, sales and marketing alignment. And I'm underlining it. This is very important.
Very true. Yeah.
First, you build up trust. When I said you approach the VP of sales, you're like, hey, listen, what do I need to do to get you the sales? Second, you need to build up understanding and manage expectations. Do not miss this step. Otherwise, you will suffer when that person will hire the team. You need to manage expectations, set expectations, and put them in book. If we are going to an event, if I'm going to organize, book a hotel, get the speakers, get emails ready, get landing page ready, run a PPC ad, run a LinkedIn ad, do an email blast. If I'm going to do all that, what I need from you is, say, for example, let's book meetings in advance. You need to make sure I will do all these activities. I will get, say, for example, 30-40% of attendees. You need to make sure you get more number of attendees because you know the market. I am new. You gotta be honest. I am new. You know the market. I will give you all the tools, whatever you need. So marketing, as I said, so in a startup, marketing is salesperson's Batman's belt,
Sales enablement.
right? So everybody will have, some box will have a gadget. You will get all the gadgets. You need to bring meetings. If we are going into an event, so most of the time it happens in small. If you're going to an event and you haven't booked a meeting, we are going on a different scale. Okay? Because what I have seen in B2B space, B2B tech space, is the expectation is you go and get all the events done, everything done. You need to get the meet. You need to get the customers. And what sales team sometimes does is they go there and they just, hello, hi, whatever. No, going to events, field events, is a team sport. Okay, you need to strategically place your people everywhere. Okay, this is the person from this company will be sitting here. You need to be there, right? This is the person from this company sitting here. You need to be there, right? You can crack a deal. You don't know you will crack another $1 million deal right there. I
Very
have
true.
done people's. I have seen people doing that because they planned it, right? So you need to manage that expectations, right?
Well, I'm going to pause you there, and I'm going to ask you a bit more in detail because I'm someone who does not have a lot of experience in terms of events and field marketing and doing all of that. What sort of expectations should we have? Because look, I've been to events not as a business myself, but I've been there as a visitor, right? And one thing I've noticed, everyone is there to sell.
Yep.
No one is there to be sold. So what sort of results do you see from events in terms of business outcomes, like revenue outcomes? In your experience, have you seen some good results from it? And if so, what have been the strategies?
Yeah. So first thing I would say is you you need to stop looking at events from a lead generation perspective.
Yeah, yeah.
You will benefit when you look at field events from this perspective. Okay. So, say for example, as in sales team, right, there are 50 customers you need to visit in a month, right? Now, say for example, pick up Australia, right? 50 customers you need to see across Australia in a month, right? Um, take F&B, take flight tickets, hotels, etc. The cost of seeing those customers would cross 50, 60K. You reckon? Yeah, it will cost that. Yeah. So if I go and sponsor an event, for example, in Melbourne, and I know out of those 50, 40 or 30 customers are already coming there, save on my ticket, save on my hotel cost, and it will help me to deal with them at scale. Now, what I've done is I've removed the filter of lead gen from events, right? Now I'm thinking strategically about how I'm going to close a deal there, right? Every field event, Shabahat, every sponsored event, field event is a different, like if you're doing your internal event, that's a different strategy. If you're doing this, because I'm picking sponsored is because that's where a lot of people make mistakes, right? If you're picking sponsored events, most of the sponsored events will give you, say, for example, an account list 2 weeks, 3 weeks before the event occurs. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Pick up that account list, go to Zoom Info, enter that account list, get all the ICPs, send them an email. Hey, are you attending that event? If you are, let's catch up. Let's catch up. Give give your if you're not a good content writer, spend money in creating a series of email through a copywriter. So that would be the best investment you will ever make. Okay, create some good copy, send that email. Maybe you will get 10 meetings. Okay, out of those 10 meetings, give it your best shot. Right, you will close 1 or 2 deals. That's all you need. Depending on your ICP. Look, if you sorry, different depending on your average deal
ACV.
size. If
Yeah.
your average deal size is $6,000, you shouldn't be going and sponsoring events.
Exactly.
Right? If your average deal size is $200,000, $300,000, $1 million, you close one deal,
You're good for the year.
good for the year.
Exactly.
So you need to manage that expectation with the sales team, right? Because that's the step number two. They will say, "Hey, listen, I need to be on platforms where I can speak with prospects at scale." Okay.
Okay.
Number one, fix your product marketing. Number two, manage expectations. Okay. When you do these two, okay, then you come to the third part because at that time you're probably in your third or fourth month. Your VP of sales would have already hired few BDRs. We hired some, junior level sales team, enterprise reps, commercial reps. Okay. Your third would be, hey, listen, I've helped you out. Something has worked between you and me. How do we ensure that we keep the same understanding and strategy for your team as well? Okay. So they don't come to me tomorrow and say, hey, Rahul, we are sponsoring this events. Where are the leads? Your VP of sales should jump into it straight away. Events are not for leads. They are strategic and branding business event. You know, you need to make sure you book meetings right. And whatever you need, whatever tools, gadgets you need.
So maybe we can say those events are a valuable sales touch point, not a lead generation mechanism.
I mean, lead generation is a plus point. I mean, you will get a few scans here and there.
Lead is a byproduct, right, of a good conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, listen, you're not interested? No worries. I'll send you some information. Here you go, scan.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hey, listen. Oh, you've got a problem. Oh, this is a big problem. All right, let me get this person to talk to you. Oh, yeah. Okay. How much does it cost? This cost this much. Oh, sounds interesting. Let's meet up in your office. Demo book. You know what I mean?
So what's the next step? Manage expectations.
Get your product marketing fit. Manage expectations. Trickle down strategy through the sales team. Trickle down your strategy through the sales team. If you have an understanding with VP of sales, make sure that same understanding is with all other subordinates of that VP of sales. Everyone should think alike. Everyone should think consistently. That's how team works. If you may get into a room, you may fight your VP of sales and you. You may fight, you may try to kill each other, you may get first. But when you leave the room, you need to speak in the same language. People in your organization needs to see that you and your director of sales or VP of sales are like this. Okay? So what they have chatted together probably makes sense. So we should follow that. Right? So trickling down your strategy is very important. Okay?
Cool.
Now, these are the three things I would recommend to fix up the moment you start your first marketing manager job. And you would think you would see these are very strategic things. I'm not saying go there, book some events, make a marketing calendar, do this. No, that's given. You got to do that anyways. I'll tell you one thing. In my experience, no one will judge you on your marketing calendar.
Nah.
Everyone will judge you on your relationship with sales and other teams.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And that's business 101. Business is about relationships and revenue.
Yeah.
That's all there is to business, really. And how you go about that is the tactical stuff, and that's a natural. And I was smiling the whole time you did this, because I literally this evening, or in fact afternoon, I was in my car and I did a TikTok saying exactly the same things. Okay. So I saw a question, I like ditto. So what happened? Like I came across a question on Quora, right? Someone posted on Quora, what would be your advice to someone starting in their first marketing role? And I did a very short TikTok on that, and I went, the first thing you should do is go talk to sales. Step one, because they have talked to your customers.
Yeah.
They know the rejections. They know the pain points. They know why. They know the reasons deals were lost. They know the reasons deals were won. So that's, what's clicking with the customer and whatnot over there. Number two, go spend time with your product managers or the product team, right? Because they're actively in the market studying your buyer and building the product based on that. So they've got statistical R&D done, and you can actually leverage that. Step three, sit down, combine all the information that you got from the sales and product team, find the commonalities. Those commonalities, obviously, you build alignment when you talk to them. But when you find those commonalities, what happens is those commonalities give you a framework to draft actual messaging, which you will use in your marketing that would literally work with your customer. Otherwise, you're just guessing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Otherwise, you're just guessing. And if you talk to these people, they will give you exactly the words you need to speak in your tactic. And tactics come naturally, right? Once you find out what the customers are looking for and you know what to say, then whether you're doing that on Facebook ads, on LinkedIn ads or SEO, that becomes kind of natural. That comes naturally to you. The
Yeah,
hard part is figuring out what to say,
yeah.
not where to say it.
Absolutely. So one segue from this very important topic is for my wonderful new marketing managers. Always remember your paid ads, your LinkedIn ads, your social media ads is advertisement. It's not marketing. Advertisement is a component of marketing that comes at the
Spot on.
very end. Marketing is business. Advertising
Spot on.
is throwing out messaging, right? So don't confuse if you're doing just LinkedIn ads. Because I've seen, because sometimes I consult with small businesses as well, and it's more prevalent in small businesses. You want to do marketing. What do you want to do in marketing? What is it? What product are you selling? What's your product fit? Who are your demographic? Oh no, I just want to do some Facebook ads. Well, that's not marketing.
That's
What you can
advertising.
do is you just want to do ads. So ads is a part. So, but I digress. But yeah, good point. What you said. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. These are you're speaking with your SMEs or your product managers and your sales team.
Exactly.
I find marketing managers being a very nice and peaceful bridge between sales and product manager because
Absolutely.
sometimes they go head on with each other,
It's
right?
the connective tissue, right? Like if you understand biology, connective tissues are what basically keep us together. And
Yeah,
marketing is that connective tissue between all these departments, basically.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
And to your point where you just said that marketing is so bigger than advertising, and I think that is so right. And I mean, more seasoned marketers are obviously aware of that, but some of the young marketers that are coming up, they simply don't get that, man. And I had this thought in my head and I wanted to do a LinkedIn post on it. I'm thinking about how I'll go about it, but I was thinking, like, to explain how big marketing is and how much marketing's scale is beyond advertising, that
Hmm.
marketing, we think marketing is an external facing function, right? That
Yep,
what the clients see is marketing, but I think marketing is as much internal as it is outward facing.
true.
What I mean by that is the way you communicate internally shapes the way you look or perform on the outside, and I believe that's a function of marketing.
Absolutely, absolutely. So have you heard about 4 P's of marketing? So 4 P's of
Yeah.
marketing is your product, price, place, and promotion, right? So product, what brand, services, and packaging, etc. A bit different from tech space, but concept still applies. Price, how do you offer your pricing? You know, what is the right price? What is the discounted price, etc. Place is where you market it. What is your channel of distribution? Who are your demographics, psychographics, etc. Then comes promotion, and promotion is your sales promotion, your advertising, your publicity. So it's one of the 4 P's of marketing. Right? One of the most important part is also product, right? We
Absolutely.
have brands, services, packaging, etc. Right, and there's a this is, I don't want to go too much into detail of this, but if you look at product, there's one thing that our professors used to teach us is Maslow's need of hierarchy hierarchy needs. So basically, there are a couple of needs that a human being wants, right? Some are the basic needs, and some are the needs that say good to have, and some other needs if they get it, they're like superb, right? So what is your product? What needs is it solving for that particular demographic, right? And it involves a whole lot of psychology, right? So it's not just about churning in your product and putting it on demos on LinkedIn, paid ads, and Google ads. It doesn't work like that. Most successful companies have invested time and money in understanding the values that are fulfilled by the products. So that's important. But anyways, it's a segue. But yeah,
No, no, that couldn't be more right. And I don't know if you followed that poster or not, but I posted about this recently, right? That it's about creating that value in the mind, right? And what you're referencing to is the exact difference between Salesforce and HubSpot, right? Both are the same products, both have the same capacity, same, but one is positioned as an enterprise must-have, or a sales led must have, while the other is a nice, like HubSpot, like it's in small business, and
Mhm.
in a bigger enterprise, it's like it's okay if you have HubSpot, like you can go without HubSpot. If it's good if you have it, but if not, you need to have Salesforce. The sales, you definitely need to have Salesforce, right? It's about that
You know
positioning in the mind that
how they don't say, "Do you have CRM?" They say, "Do you have Salesforce?"
yeah, exactly, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
we have other CRMs. And that's the power of brand, right? That's the power of product fit. But yeah.
Exactly. All right, so we're down onto four pieces. So
So
the
yeah,
guys,
um,
or yeah,
so I'm coming back to the overwhelming part.
yeah.
So this approach, this strategic approach, first will give you a support from sales team,
Mm,
right? Second, it will give you confidence because you're executing and putting up strategies together,
mm,
right? It will give you that confidence. Just make sure that when you're doing these, right, whatever processes you're doing, put them as machine process. You know, and if you're an engineer, you will remember like Lean Six Sigma processes where you assign the process their minimum errors, minimum resources, and then you let it run. You make a process in a way where you let it run and you don't have to come back to it. So you can concentrate on other things. Why? Because you're all by yourself. You don't have a team.
mm,
And to be successful in this job, you can't just be doing events. You can't just be fixing up your product market. You need to think beyond now,
mm,
right? So now, say for example, there's a clear path that you have laid for your VP of sales for getting 50 net new logos, and
mm,
provided that person a platform where you can sell at scale. Now work on where people will come to you. So now start working on inbound.
mm,
This is the right time to work on inbound. Never start with inbound. Inbound is in the middle.
mm,
You ask me, okay, what's at the end? I'll open that later. But inbound is in middle.
mm,
Okay. Now, this is where you will, if you're not experienced in demand gen, and if anyone is telling you, hey, listen, you got to generate these many leads, these many MQLs, don't listen to them. So demand gen, obviously, as you know, Shahad, and you've been talking about this a lot,
mm.
is not lead gen.
Exactly.
So think about it holistically, right?
Mm,
Um, so think now. Start looking at demand gen. Listen to people who are talking about demand gen in a much more sustainable way. Okay,
mm,
I'll give you an example. What is a sustainable? It's not a sustainable way. Sustainable way is where you start a process of demand gen and it works on itself. Okay, and a not sustainable way is where you stop spending money and your demand gen stops.
mm,
That's more lead gen, right? It's a short fix,
mm,
but think about long term. So demand gen is you start speaking. You gotta have your perpetual nurture demand generation strategy. What
mm,
is going to happen with all those 60, 70 leads that I got from events? What am I going to do with that? I need to develop content mapping. My beautiful friends out there, write it down. Content mapping is what you need to do. So, what content mapping means is listing down your content for your ICP
mm,
to address their needs at the right place at the right time. Okay, listing down the content pieces for your audience at the right place at the right time. And the best person to help you with is your SME and your VP of sales or your field sales team. Or you can use SEMrush. It's pretty good. I've used SEMrush. Key in some numbers. It'll give me a good, very good competitive kind of landscape. What is working? What is not? What are people looking for? What are the people? What are the topics people are talking about? So that's a good tool as well. But I would always start with sales team. Not that I have anything against Google or SEO. I trust my sales team more. Start with sales team. Ask them, hey, and I've done this. This is a practical exercise, right? Okay, I've done, and this is very interesting, and sales team will love you for this. Okay, hey, when you go to your customer or prospect in your first or second meeting only, in your first or second meeting only, what are the 5 to 6 challenges they tell you that they're frustrated on? List them down. Send me an email. Okay, here's a Google sheet. Put in your thoughts. What are the 5 to 6 challenges? Do you know why I say first and second stage? I don't go to third, fourth, fifth. Because if you're going to third, fourth, fifth, the part of discussing the challenge is gone already. Now you're discussing the deal. Now you're discussing the numbers. Okay?
Exactly.
So things will come up like it's too expensive. Things will come up like local support. Things will come up like it's too difficult to implement. Things will come up like so. Say for example, let's take an example of data analytics software, right? It's too difficult to learn. I have to learn another language for this one. Right now, when we did this at an organization, when I did this practice, one of the persons wrote and everyone agreed with him is they said we don't know how to put up a business case for it. Right? So for example, it was
What you mean is that they said we don't know how to sell this internally to our board or decision makers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we came up with a content. We came up with an ebook with how to put up a business case for that problem to your board, to your boss. Tactical steps, step by step. How do you do it? Not some marketing gibberish, but real steps. Who will give you your sales team? Okay, what should they do? How do they need to? Oh, look, it's easy. Get a procurement guy here. Get the director of IT here. Ask them how much budget how much you're losing due to data quality. I mean, you'll always lose money if you have a bad data quality. Right? Work on that. Are you losing 50% revenue on bad data quality? Are you losing 20% revenue? What does that amount to be? So, say for example, if you're losing 20% of revenue, how much that is? Is that million, 2 million, 3 million? So, if we are giving you a tool that's going to cost you $10,000, $20,000 annually per license, and that's going to save you $1 million a year, I think that's a good investment.
Exactly.
And then you don't think like, okay, it's too expensive. Nothing is expensive.
Maybe that collateral could be better exhibited in the form of a case study right there, which highlights that.
Yes.
Case studies could come in at this point, right?
Yeah, attach a case study as well, right?
Yeah.
I'll come to the case study part as well. Attach a case study, right? But yeah, I digress. But get those 5 to 6 pain points and start mapping your content. Each pain point can have 5 to 6 blogs, 2 to 3 ebooks, 3 to 4 anatomy of rumor, podcasts, some videos, some docuseries. Within 5 to 6 challenges, I think you can create. Am I stretching it too much? 30 to 40 pieces of content, easy.
From how much?
Within 5 to 6 challenges.
Oh yeah.
Easy, right?
You
Easy,
can, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
This is where you make your initial investment. Okay, this is where you make your initial investment in producing the content. Trust me, you don't have to spend gazillion dollars in straight away getting into demand gen.
Yeah.
Start spending money on your content, because when you're spending money on demand gen, people who are doing demand gen for you will ask you, "Do you have content?"
Exactly. Yeah. Demand gen is all content. I mean,
All content. Create that
it's
content,
exactly.
and this is. And Shabbat, I'm assuming this is a company where you are a marketing manager in a strategic level. not working through head office in any other country, right? You
Yeah,
are
yeah,
there. Right, okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So this is where you plan your SEO. This is where you start planning your SEO. Okay, set up real expectations. I want to become. I want to come into first five six results within the next 8 months when someone types in best marketing automation tools. Okay, if you're confident on those, show it to the board. This is what my plan is, and when you achieve that, then show it to the board. I achieved it. Okay, this is almost I'm going to do SEO. Actually, doesn't mean jack shit to everyone, anyone.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
need to
totally.
understand. Okay, what do you mean by this? What I mean by this is when people are looking for things, they will see us. Okay, but why is it so important? Because on an average monthly, there are 1 million people looking for this. I should give those numbers as well. This is also a time where you start working on your public relations and analyst relations. Okay, very
So,
important.
so I want you to expand on the. I think most people who are in B2B, they know about how analyst relations work, but how would PR work for a SaaS or B2B company?
Look, here's the thing, right?
Give me, you don't have to really go into it. Like you could give me a general sort of idea of how they should go about it.
If you don't have budget because PR is expensive,
Exactly.
because you're getting an expert who has got good relationship with the journalists. You got to understand you have no relationship with journalists. It takes time. PR is a skill. It takes time, right? All dependent on good relationship with journalists, with tech publishers, etc. There are a lot of good people in Australia who are doing sole trading in PR. You don't
Yes.
have to go into the big agencies.
Exactly. And they're doing it for small businesses.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
And they'll
Yeah.
be like, hey, look, let's keep us on a retainer of, I'm just throwing figures here, let's keep on a retainer of $5,000 a month. We'll get you at least two articles. And that's good. Your PR articles helps you in SEO.
Exactly.
They earned,
It's the most solid form of backlink you can
yeah,
get there.
yeah, because it's an earned press in
Exactly.
very reputable editorial column.
Exactly.
Right? So start with someone who is sole trading. They can work out. They can work on a smaller budget. Don't go on a big agency. They won't look at you if you have $5,000 per month budget, right? Think smartly on that. That would be my advice.
Nice.
Yeah,
So after SEO, you're planning for PR as well. Okay.
yeah.
Cool. And break down the analyst relations a little bit as well for us.
So analyst relationships, you need to work with your product marketing team or product team because you're the marketer, so there's no marketing. Product marketing. But you need to work with product. Hey, what are the okay? So analyst relationship, there are few key analyst organizations in tech space. There's Gartner, there's Forrester, there's IDC. You know, as a marketer, you need to reach out to the people. Okay, you got to do your own research how to get into the quadrants. The
Yeah.
end goal for a tech company would be in an analyst relationship is to get into those quadrants, right? And have good relationships with analysts. Because what analysts do is there will be big customers coming to them and saying, "Hey, listen, we got to have another marketing automation tool. What do you suggest?" Oh, there's this anatomy of a rumor subscription you can have. I've seen this; it's pretty good. It's in our leaders quadrant. Price wise, it's good. They're having an annual recurring revenue of 1.1 million. Here are their benefits. Here are their non-benefits. Here are there's some customer reviews, the list of customers. So analyst needs to know all of that. Okay, so that's the analyst relationship. So you need to reach out.
But from my limited knowledge about analyst relationships, again, it's not a field that I'm an expert in. So what I know from outside is that there is no set criteria to be in a quadrant. Or is there?
I would treat it very carefully.
Yeah.
It's just like there is no set algorithm for Google to rank one.
Oh, so there is. We just don't know about it.
But if you think
Okay.
about it from an analyst perspective, so analysts, say for example, I'll pick up Gartner.
Mm-hmm.
Gartner is the most reputed one,
Mm-hmm.
right? They think about their customers just as Google think about their visitors. They think about their customers.
Hmm.
So they want to present their customers with solutions which are best of the best. Now, how do you pick what is best? Has it got
Hmm.
all the product and features? That's number one.
Hmm.
Their messaging, is it aligned with their product and features? Have they got any good customers in
Hmm.
their in their pockets? Like, have they
Hmm.
dealt with good customers? They are, top 100 ASX. I don't know. Have they got good customer reviews, or they have bad customer reviews? Do
Hmm.
they have revenue over $1 million so that they are sustainable? They won't go into bankruptcy.
Mm-hmm.
All of these things.
Hmm.
They look at all these things and then they refer it. It's just as I'm referring a friend for a job. Is he good? Has he got a police case? You know, has he been involved in a crime? Has he got university degree? All those things, right? They do their due diligence, right? And you
So
just
it's
have
very quantitative.
yes, yes,
Okay.
a little bit of
I-
qualitative as
Is
well.
is McKinsey considered an analyst as well? I'm sure they've got a quadrant of theirs as well. McKinsey.
I have read few of the McKinsey reports. They're
Mm-hmm.
very detailed, very qualitative. Uh, But yeah, I'm not sure. I've never dealt with them actually. I've dealt with Gartner, I've dealt with IDC, I've dealt with Forrester, but not with
Mm-hmm.
McKinsey. No, have you had an experience?
No, no. I'm just a big. It was a bit of a dream job for me being in
Hmm.
McKinsey. So I just know they have a quadrant, but I'm. It's not very prominent in the SaaS space. It's more
Hmm.
so in the industrial space. I
I
believe
think I,
that's.
I think I can be wrong. Okay, don't quote me on this, but I think what they do is they go to, say, for example, big industrial organization, $20 to $30 million organization. They were like, okay, we are here to change management.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be at $100 billion from $40 billion. These are the changes you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? To implement these changes, you need these tools.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and now to get to these tools, these are the best contenders.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Probably. Probably. Not sure. Again, I'm not
Yeah,
very deep into this, so I wouldn't know.
neither am I.
So let's move to this next step then. So now we've started working on PR and analyst exercises. What are the next step for our upcoming brilliant marketing manager?
Okay, so by now you have started with your content strategy. You started with your inbound. Okay, this is the time you need to make sure your ops is in place. So
Marketing
unfortunately,
ops.
yeah,
Okay.
unfortunately, you won't get a budget at this time for ops. So you have to prove your business case, right? So see what tools have you got. If you got a CRM reporting, Salesforce, can you build up some reports on, say, for example, marketing contribution? Say, for example, how many events you have done and did you get a deal out of it? Um, Also, through include in your reporting stats from Google Analytics, and marketers forget it. They forget it every
Mm.
time. So they don't touch Google Analytics because it looks complicated. It is not. It's simple, man. It's you can just
Yeah.
explore it. It's
Yeah.
simple, right? If you don't have budget for HubSpot, you're not having HubSpot there. Don't worry about it. Go to Google Analytics, see your month-on-month growth from organic reach, paid reach, returning visitors, unique visitors, bounce rate. Uh, One of my favorite is one of my best measure is uh, uh, time per session. People coming to your website.
Sorry, I'm cutting you off. Can you repeat these analytic tags that you just talked about?
So yeah,
I
look,
think these are
these
important.
are basic ones. When you're not doing paid campaign, doing organic. So
Mm-hmm.
your returning visitors, net new visitors, unique page visits, bounce rate.
Mm-hmm.
But one of my favorite is time spent per session. So Shabbat
Well,
goes to a
so
website. How much
what
time?
time? What time do you set as a conversion point?
Depends on your content. So
Can I ask what have you set for your current, what you're doing? Is that confidential or can you tell me?
I can't. But I'll give you an example. I'll give you an
Uh-huh.
example and to clarify. Say, for example, you are you're setting up a blog page with 500 words, not more than five. So it's a short form blog page. It's a short form content. Right? Long form would be 800 words and more. So 500 page, 400, 500 page. It should take you 2 minutes to read the whole blog if you have proper H1 tags, headings, meta descriptions.
Mm-hmm.
If someone is coming there, spending 60 seconds and moving out, it's not a good one.
Mm.
Right? Someone is spending more than 2 minutes. They're
Mm-hmm.
actually looking at it and maybe noting some things, maybe copy pasting something, maybe picking out some stuff from it, maybe saving it. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
so probably for a 400 to 500 words of blog page, you should have around 2 minutes per session, right? But here's
Mm-hmm.
another thing. Here's what you can show to the business as well. It doesn't have to be 2 minutes. So before, they used to spend, in general, over the website, on an average, they used to spend uh, 20, 30 seconds on our website. Now they
Mm-hmm.
spend 1 minute and 60 seconds. That's a huge jump, right?
Indeed.
You show them the growth.
Mm.
They won't understand specifics. Show them the growth. Like, this is the growth. Yeah, there's 100% growth here, right? And it is a good growth. You never had, and I can get into discussion and talk about hours and hours on how you design a website to make sure you get people keep them inside the website. But
Mm-hmm.
that would be your goal.
Mm-hmm.
So have that ops ready. These are the easy ops tactics, right?
These are basically the fundamentals. I mean, these if you're going into ops, these are something that that have got to be there.
Yeah, absolutely. But the other thing, what you can do, if say for example, if you have resources,
Mm-hmm.
you can look at AR, annual recurring revenue, you would have anyways, right? Have sales cycle time.
Oh, sorry, I just forgot to ask one thing. So when you're setting these conversion tags like time spent on page and stuff like that, returning user, so there's an option to put a dollar conversion value to each conversion in Google Analytics. Do you do that? Do you put a dollar value to these conversions or no?
That would be more on an e-commerce. I don't use that for.
Yeah, I've seen people put dollar value on pricing page visits, and I don't do that.
Oh, on pricing page, I know why they do it. I can
Mm-hmm.
understand. I can understand why they do it
Mm-hmm.
because they want to calculate CAC. They want to calculate cost of customer acquisition. It's a bloody complicated thing to calculate. But they want to see, okay, to get someone from here to the pricing page and they convert, it cost me that dollar. Okay, they want to
Okay.
put a figure. Understandable, not necessary, right?
Okay.
But if you have a very good sophisticated system, you can have a CAC metrics. Um, a good measure to have is also customer lifetime value.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. So that would be a good measure, but again, very complex. So you got to speak to the finance team, accounts team, and your sales team to get all the billings and everything. Um, you can work with your sales team to get customer churn rate. If it's high, you need to do something about it. If it's low, you're doing good, right? If it's high, that means your after sales or your customer success team, or you don't have a customer success team. That's when it happens, right?
Yeah, we're too young for that right now.
Yeah. One thing I would recommend, and this is a complicated thing to have, my friend. It's not too complicated, but it's a bit tricky. But I would recommend to have it. Work on it a little bit. Okay? And my beautiful marketing friends, note it down. It's pipeline velocity.
Oh, champion. Yes.
Pipeline velocity. How fast is your pipeline moving in comparison to your average deal cycle? If, say, for example, I don't know how a person would, this is different to different organization, but if you have deals at different stages, stage one is demo, stage two is proposal, stage three is, negotiation, stage four is closed one, lost, right? If you are having, out of 300 deals, if you're having 120 deals sitting in demo stage for more than 60 days, your demo sucks. Because it wasn't a good demo for them to think that we should move it to a negotiation stage. Right?
But there, let me, sorry. So
And
if they're sitting in demo at 60 days, could be another reason. Maybe they were just not high intent leads to begin with.
yeah, but there won't be leads if they're on those days. There will be opportunities already because the sales team have already qualified them. Your sales team won't go into a room, and you should not let them if it's not a qualified lead for it. Whether you follow band, whether you follow medpick, whatever sales tactic you follow. But what usually happens is when you see a deal at its face value, Shabbat, and you speak with customer, it looks like you can help them. But when you go into a meeting and there are other people involved, then there are other opinions involved. Okay, and then the person who bought you in the deal, that person's opinion may not be the strongest opinion. Yeah. Can happen. Can happen.
No.
It may actually be your demo would be A class. The reason, and you're right, but there can be another reason that you didn't take into account that there are procurement people, there are engineers who will be influenced.
Bad targeting. Yeah.
You didn't take into account influencers.
Yeah,
You went
exactly. Yeah.
straight away to decision maker. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why in our targeting, as you rightly said, we have multi-pronged approach. Target influencers with product features and benefits, right? Target managers with ROI. Target leaders with brand.
Love that.
Okay. So, but that would be a good thing to have. So set up your marketing ops by this time. If your friends, your audience won't kill me, this should not take you more than 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Okay,
exactly.
months. Make that aim. By this time, I will tell you, you will have an amazing relationship with your sales team. But,
So
yeah.
by this point, are we already, obviously, because we've gone through the process of building, we're assuming the inbound engine is there. We've got demand gen running. We've got, we've started planning for SEO. We've started a little bit on PR and analyst relationships. So we are driving revenue at this point, right? We are driving revenue at this point. Where to now?
Okay. So now, if you are ops in place, you're showing the business the revenue attribution. Come on, we all hate attribution, right? But you gotta show it. How
Well,
is
we have a love-hate relationship. We don't just hate it, man. I mean, we gotta love it as well.
yeah. So you gotta show the business. Look, we went to this event, we closed a 900,000 deal. We went to this campaign, this came from this, etc., etc. Right. So now, once you have proven your case from a demand gen and product marketing perspective, right? Go to your VP of sales again. Now, this is what you need to do. You need to ask for more budget. This is the time you ask for budget. Okay? Because now the business has confidence on you. They will ask you, what now, Rahul? H1 is done. What do we do now? You go to VP of sales. This is what you say. Write it down. Right? Hey, we will be spending a lot of money if we go the same way to get you those clients. Or cost of customer acquisition will keep on going up. Ads, keyword bidding will go up, advertisement cost will go up, everything will go up. Cost of acquisition will go up. If you want to avoid that, you need to work on branding now. So branding is where people would like to, good branding is where people would like to associate with you. When people like to associate with you, when you have developed a good brand, cost of acquisition goes down. So you're not spending money on advertisement anymore. People know you already. You know what I mean? People
Exactly.
know you
And
already.
that's driving word of mouth as well a lot. And word of mouth is free.
Yeah. The branding is a pricey exercise. Right.
True.
So VP of sales, can you please work with me to put up a business case together for our executive team to ask for more?
But this is interesting. a marketer, I'm fascinated by this point, and I want you to riff on it for a little bit. A marketer going to a salesperson to say that we need to work on branding. Like, sales couldn't be more far away from branding.
because,
What's the association there?
because branding is not just marketing. Branding,
Interesting. Elaborate.
branding is how you. It also involves how you conversate with people. I'll give you an example, right? You for sales. This is the end goal of branding. I'm going to give you 7 attributes that you need to follow as Bible when you're speaking to customers. That's branding. So that anyone globally from sales team is talking to customer, they have a same experience. Right? Oh, okay. But how do you decide those 7 attributes? Easy. Tell me who is your happiest customer. Give me a list of 3 or 4. Okay, these are my happiest customer. What did you do so good that they became a happy customer? Look, I was very empathetic to them. Empathy. Number 2, look, I was very, understanding of this problem. I wasn't jumping to closing the deal. I was more interested in solving their problem. Number 2, yes, what more? I was actually, I wasn't, I was more, say, for example, looking at solving problem from an organization perspective rather than just being to their thing. So you're being holistic. Number 3, okay. So pick up these traits from the best deals, from the best customers, okay, and put that in a piece of stone. That's your branding when you speak to customers. Okay, you pick up say 5, 6, 7 traits. Okay, and because people think branding is graphic design, it's not. It's so
Well,
much.
branding is graphic design. Brand is not graphic design.
No, not exactly. It's branding, whatever you want, right? So, but if you want to develop a brand, you the most important thing people miss is your customer facing team needs to adhere by your values, right? I think I gave you this example previously as well. You go anywhere around the globe, speak to anyone in HubSpot's team, they will all speak to you in such a humble tone. They would love you. They'll go like, "What can I help? What can I do to help you? It's okay. You don't want to buy. I'll send you a link. Learn about this. Do this certification." You know why? Because they have come up with these number of values that they put in the training, right? And the end result of these are this amazing sales team. And people were like, you know, Marketo is cheaper, but I won't deal with HubSpot. That's the power of brand. Okay. So
And
yeah,
from a tactical perspective, sorry, I want to jump in because I've got a good story here,
yeah.
and it's not from B2B; it's actually from B2C. So one of my good friends, he runs a very successful business. Right, in the past couple of years, he started from e-commerce. Now he's got a warehouse in Sydney, so he's doing a couple of $1 million in turnover in just 2 years. And
Nice.
so he tells me that he was 16 when he used to work at McDonald's, and so he was going through his training, and McDonald's was teaching them about customer value or customer service, right? And he goes, in our training, my manager went to me like, Hassan, if a customer walks into the door of a McDonald's store, how much is that customer worth? He goes, I go, well, maybe if he's hungry, $25. You know? He goes, no, Hassan. That customer who walks in is worth 167 or 68 grand.
Oh wow.
Some figure like that. I don't remember the exact figure. He's like, what? And then the manager breaks it down. And the manager goes, the average customer lives in this area for X amount of time. And in X amount of time, they visit the store X amount of times. And once they grow up, if they have kids, after a certain age, their kids started coming, and then their kids start coming. So if you calculate all of that, that's $168,000. So if a customer walks into the door of McDonald's, I want you to treat them like they're worth $168,000. And that was such a fascinating story for me, man. I'm like, that's branding.
That is branding.
That's branding, right? You're teaching your people, and that's going to reflect in their actions, right? And
Yeah.
ultimately in their organization. So sorry, I had this interesting story. I just wanted to put it
Yeah,
out
this
there.
is exactly. And McDonald's is a well-known brand because they're consistent with their
Exactly.
values. You know,
Exactly.
and that's where. So when we say we gotta be competitive, we gotta look at what our competitors are doing. I'll give you a better idea. Work on your brand. You don't have to worry about your competitors.
Totally.
Because when you start comparing things with your competitors, usually around pricing. When you reach around pricing, you're already done. You know, Pricing discussion is, from my experience, my opinion. There are more learned people than me who would think differently, and they have a point as well. From my experience, the pricing strategy always goes down. You're gonna negotiate $30 per license. Then you're gonna negotiate $28 per license. Then you're gonna negotiate 25. The price will always go down. You will never have that. Don't negotiate on price. Build a brand where people would want to associate with you, and they won't even ask how much it costs. They will say, "Let me arrange budget for this one." Yeah. So that's okay. That's one of the
Okay. So
topics. Is
where do we go? So now we started working on brand as well. Cool.
Yeah. So brand is where you.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I think your video went off. Sorry.
Sorry, what happened?
Your video went off.
Oh.
I think it says live video will return when their internet improves. It's okay.
Yeah, we can keep talking. I mean, it's recording on internally on your PC, so that's okay. It's gonna be fine at the end.
Yeah. So look. So with brand, you need to educate your sales team because they won't be aware of what the brand is. But if you are not aware of what brand is and you're still thinking it's all creative and branding and colors and fonts and typography, etc., then you need to educate on branding yourself, right? But then educate how good branding is going to affect sales. People will negotiate less. People will want to be associated with you. If you have good brand, it also helps you in PR, in analyst relationships. The analysts always want to go to a good brand.
Yeah.
They don't want to go with any nobodies, right?
Yeah.
So work on your brand. Some tactics I would suggest is what I explained. Ask your sales team what are the 5 to 6 best customers you have and why are they best customers. Pick up some attributes and then create values around those attributes and then put those values, the language, the copy around your website. Right? Then create preambles of those values. Hey, listen, this is how you talk to customers. That's when you start working on sales plays. My team, my friends, write down sales plays is dependent on branding. The way you
Totally.
speak with customers, the way you approach customer, you go to market, requires branding, requires values. So you need to put those, and then you work on your website. Think about colors. The look, overall feel. Every color has got its own significance. There's a reason why NAB is red. Commonwealth Bank is yellow, ANZ is blue. One signifies good deals, faster, so red. One signifies peacefulness, consistency, so it's blue. All those things, right? So bear that in mind. One very important part that you can build quickly in branding is community.
Yeah.
It,
Solid. Yeah.
it has been my weak point as well, I can confess.
But wouldn't that come under demand gen as well? It could. Not, modern day community building does come under demand gen, doesn't it?
Shouldn't.
Yeah. Okay.
Shouldn't. Your intention with community shouldn't be generating demand.
True.
Otherwise, you will fail.
True.
You will fail because
True.
Because the thing is that people will ask you questions. Maybe like, what's the revenue value in it? If I answer this question in 100,
Yeah.
100 words, 200 words, 300 words. No.
Solid.
It's
Yeah.
coming to the same example you gave for Mechas, right? What's
Yeah.
the value of one question posted in the community? Can be anything. Right? Community is where, so by word community is devoid of revenue. You're creating a community of like-minded people. The last thing you want to get into is revenue. You know, so because when you induce values that you've created from, so say for these are the 6 to 7 attributes of the values you got from the 5 to 6 best customers. You're scaling it in a community. What will happen? Everyone will go like, yeah, amazing. I like how you speak. I like how you talk. I like how you solve my problems. And you need to keep someone in charge of community who's passionate about community, who,
Yeah.
who thinks about the value of the community, right? Then people will, your prospects, when you have good community, your prospects and customers sell it for you, your product. You know, so now you have prospect, you have customers, your partners selling and marketing your product for you because of branding. So what's happening is your cost per acquisition is going down. You're not spending anymore. And then sometimes your VP of marketing will be like, hey, you're not spending too much money on ads. I don't have to. For
You're
me,
getting the job done, right?
you know, people are coming to me and anyways, they're reaching out. I've got, what one very good way of telling your brand is working and you're getting demand is people go to your website and fill in contact us form.
Yeah. Exactly.
Easiest way.
Yeah. Exactly.
Easiest way. I want to contact you. Please call me ASAP.
Exactly.
You are getting contact us form filled, you're doing your job good.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I think so if I capture all things right from the top, phase one, fix up your marketing. For phase one is go to your VP of sales, develop a relationship. Right? Fix up your product. Your product market so you don't have to come back to it again and again. Then
Manage expectations.
no, then it was provide a platform where your sales team can sell at scale.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Then manage expectation, make sure those expectations trickling down in their team, right? Step two is start doing inbound, right? Your content marketing, content strategy, SEO, ARTR. Step three is setting up ops. I've given you certain measures, but basically your website analytics would be good. Your content consumption would be good. Uh, you know, uh, revenue attribution will obviously be good. And step four would be work on your brand. How do you work tactically on your brand? Ask your sales team, what are your 5 to 6 best customers, derive 5 to 6, 7 attributes of values of those, create a preamble, create sales plays, and work on a copy that is consistent with those attributes and put it on your website. You have a good marketing strategy.
There we go. There we go, man. This, I hope this reaches enough people who need this, because this was a bit of a mini masterclass, right? I mean, I should run this in ads and sell this for like $15 a pop or something.
If it helps you, man, go ahead and do it. But look, here's the thing. Here's the thing, Shavat, and here's the thing to all our audiences in the US. Marketing is a discipline where you don't have to agree with everything I say. Some of the, and I see in all the social commentary as well, right? You don't have to agree in everything I say. You may think
Yeah.
I may be wrong in some places. Do
Yeah.
what works for you, but stick to some basic principles.
Absolutely.
Having good
Absolutely.
relationship with your sales team, having good relationship with your SME, work on your brand. Branding is not colors, right? Work on your inbound properly. Work on your content strategy, right? You can differ on with me on you can disagree with me on tactics. Tactics is a personal choice,
Exactly.
but
Yeah.
have consistency with basic strategies. Yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Well, I really, really had fun. I mean, I had a lot of fun last time as well, but I had 3 Red Bulls at that in that one. Today I had no Red Bulls, and I still had a lot of fun. So I'm assuming it's you. Last time I thought it was Red Bulls, but it's you, man. I love it. I love your company.
Man, we'll get you off the Red Bulls, man. Not happy.
All right, Raul. Thank you so much, man.
Shabbat.
I'll try and create a blog post out of this as well, because I think to condense the information, you've provided a lot of value in this, and I think it will help a lot of people. So just thank you for your time. I know you'd been sick the past couple of days, but you still made it.
My
So
pleasure. My pleasure.
yeah, and see you next month. If you can come in before the month, we'll be really excited. But as per our commitment, see you next month.
Sure thing. Always a pleasure, Shabbat.
See you, buddy.
See ya.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Anatomy of a Rumor. If there is any feedback you would like to share with us, if you have any thoughts, any comments, or any particular questions or topics that you would like us to discuss, write to us at aor@rumors.com.au and we will respond to your query. Similarly, if you have any problems in your go-to-market strategy, or you're facing any sort of problems in marketing in general, would be happy to have a chat. Simply jump on to the Rumors website and fill out the contact form, and I myself will be in touch with you. See you next time.